Welcome to the Life Lessons channel. Today, we will explore a core concept in Buddhist philosophy, impermanence. In Sanskrit, impermanence is called anicca. One of the three fundamental characteristics of existence, along with suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. But what makes impermanence such an important and profound idea? We often seek stability, wishing to hold on to things as we expect, be it work, love, health, or the relationships and material possessions around us. However, have you noticed that nothing in life is permanent? From the flow of time and the changes in nature to the emotions and thoughts in our minds, everything is in a state of flux. Like a river that never stops flowing. That is the essence of impermanence. So, why is impermanence important? Because understanding and accepting that everything changes allows us to face loss, suffering, and difficulties in life with greater ease. Instead of getting caught up in regret or fear, we can let go of unnecessary attachments and fully live in the present moment. In this video, we will explore 5 profound truths about impermanence that Buddhism teaches, helping you find peace and happiness even amid life's constant changes. These lessons are not only philosophical but also practical guidance you can apply in your daily life, from how you view relationships and careers to nurturing your soul and spirit. A freedom of the soul, freeing you from worries and fears about the future. Before we begin, don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoy this content. It helps us know you're interested in this topic and encourages us to create more valuable videos. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please click subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any future videos. Share this video with your loved ones, perhaps they too are in need of these valuable teachings to find peace and happiness. Now, let's embark on a journey to uncover the truths about impermanence, a simple truth with the power to change lives. Let's get started. Lesson 1: Impermanence is the natural law of the universe. In the world around us, change is inevitable. From the movement of planets in the universe, the cycle of day and night, to a leaf falling from a tree, all are evidence of an unchanging law, impermanence. Buddhism teaches that impermanence is not just the nature of the material world but also governs the spiritual realm. Everything, whether tangible or intangible, undergoes 4 stages: birth, existence, change, and dissolution. A flower blooms and then wilts, a mountain is formed and eventually eroded by time. Human emotions are similar, joy comes and goes, and sadness does not last forever. This is not a philosophy of pessimism but a profound truth that helps us see life more authentically. Understanding the nature of impermanence. We often desire stability. We want to hold on to moments of happiness, protect close relationships, and maintain our health and youth. However, the reality is that everything changes. When we try to cling to permanence in a world full of fluctuations, it only leads to suffering. Buddhism emphasizes that understanding impermanence does not mean giving up everything or becoming pessimistic. Instead, it teaches us to accept change as a natural part of life. When it rains and floods the streets, we can complain, or we can learn to appreciate the droplets that nourish the trees. Lessons from impermanence. Cherish the present. When we realize that everything is temporary, we begin to appreciate what we have in the present. A joyful moment with family, a simple meal, or even a peaceful morning becomes more precious when we recognize that they won't last forever. But how can we truly live in the present? 1. Learn to let go of attachment. We often obsess over controlling life, trying to hold on to good things or avoid suffering. The more we try to grip tightly, the more easily we become disappointed. Practice letting go, not abandoning, but accepting that everything has its time to come and go. 2. Be grateful for what you have. When you sip a cup of tea, savor its aroma and warmth. Don't let your mind wander to unfinished tasks or worries about tomorrow. Enjoy each sip as if it were the last time you could taste it. Impermanence and reducing suffering. One of the main causes of suffering is attachment to things we cannot control. When a loved one passes away, we suffer because we wish they could stay with us forever. When we lose a job, we grieve because we placed too much hope in its stability. Buddhism teaches that suffering does not arise from change but from our inability to accept it. If we understand that everything is impermanent, our pain will lessen somewhat. This doesn't mean we won't feel sadness or loss, it means we learn to face it with greater ease. When one door closes, another opens. Life is a continuous flow. And every moment carries new opportunities. Imagine, instead of drowning in sorrow when a relationship ends, we could see it as an opportunity to explore ourselves and find new joys. Applying impermanence in daily life. How can we live according to the spirit of impermanence? Buddhism suggests several simple practices. 1. Meditation. Spend time each day meditating. Meditation helps us realize the changes in each breath and provides calmness amid life's fluctuations. 2. Observe nature, take walks in the park, watch trees shed leaves. Or admire the sunrise and sunset. These experiences remind us that change is natural and necessary. 3. Accept your emotions. When feeling sad, let the sadness come and go instead of trying to deny it. Remember that emotions, like everything else, are also impermanent. The freedom from impermanence. Understanding and accepting impermanence not only reduces suffering but also brings freedom to the soul. When we no longer cling to things we cannot control, we feel lighter. Think of a favorite cup. One day, it might break. If you understand that the cup has always encompassed impermanence, when that day comes, you won't feel heartbroken. Instead, you will cherish the moments that cup shared with you. Similarly, our lives are like that. Live with gratitude and a deep awareness that everything is temporary. It is impermanence that makes life more precious. Impermanence is not something to fear, it is a truth that enables us to live more fully. When you understand that everything changes, you will learn to cherish the present, let go of the past, and welcome the future. Start practicing today. View impermanence not as loss but as an opportunity to live a fuller and more meaningful life. Lesson 2. Impermanence helps us let go. Impermanence and attachment. In life, people often feel pain when faced with loss. A broken relationship, the death of a loved one, or even damaged possessions can all lead to heartache. The reason is not simply that things change, but because we cling to them, wishing for them to remain as they once were. Buddhism points out that attachment is the root of suffering. When we cling to things that are inherently impermanent, things sure to change over time, we bind ourselves to unrealistic expectations. It's like holding onto a burning rope, the tighter you grip, the more you hurt your hand. Understanding impermanence is the first step in learning to let go. If everything changes, then there is nothing to hold on to forever. This is not a call to abandon hope or become indifferent, but a reminder that freedom and peace lie in reducing our attachment, not in trying to control the world. Letting go does not mean abandoning life. In Buddhism, letting go does not mean giving up everything, living ascetically, or distancing oneself from life. Instead, letting go is an attitude towards living. It is the renunciation of attachment and the desire for control, allowing us to live more lightly and freely. For example, when we love someone, letting go does not mean we stop loving them. Rather, we love them with a free heart, without expecting them to be perfect or to stay by our side forever. When we work, letting go does not mean we work carelessly. Instead, we work with full commitment but do not cling to the outcomes. Imagine holding a glass of water. If you grip too tightly, your hand will tire. If you hold it just right, you can keep the glass without pain. Similarly, letting go is a way of holding everything in life gently, without attachment. The benefits of letting go. When we practice letting go, we can achieve many benefits. 1. Reduced suffering. When we accept that everything changes, loss is no longer an overwhelming burden. We realize that losing something is simply a natural part of life. 2. Living in the present. Attachment often causes us to dwell on the past or worry about the future, regretting what has happened or fearing what is yet to come. Letting go helps us focus on the present and enjoy what we have. 3. Peace of mind. When we are not obsessed with holding on, our minds become lighter. We don't need to strain to control everything, instead, we learn to accept the natural flow of life. 4. Pure love. When we let go, our love becomes unconditional. We love for the sake of loving, not because we expect something in return. Practicing letting go. How can we let go in practice? Here are some suggestions based on Buddhist teachings. 1. Be aware of impermanence. Remind yourself that everything in life changes. A flower blooms and then wilts, a child grows up. Even emotions do not last forever. When we understand this, we cling less. 2. Meditation. Meditation is an excellent practice to help calm the mind and let go. In meditation, we learn to observe our breath and emotions without judgment or attachment. This is the practice of letting go in every moment. 3. Accept what you cannot control. There are many things in life beyond our control, from the weather to the thoughts of others. Learn to accept instead of trying to change them. 4. Focus on what matters. Ask yourself, what is truly important? When we focus on deep values, we cling less to unimportant things like material possessions or status. 5. Practice gratitude. Be thankful for what you have, rather than longing for distant things. Gratitude helps us realize that the present is enough, and we don't need to cling any further. Impermanence as a great teacher. Impermanence is not just a truth. It is a great teacher. It teaches us to not fear loss, for everything comes and goes. Not cling, for it is clinging that causes us pain. Live fully in each moment, for every moment is precious. In a Buddhist story, the Buddha once told his disciples, everything in life is like passing clouds. They come and go, nothing is eternal. By understanding and applying this, we can live a lighter and more peaceful life. Letting go is not about giving up, it's about living more freely. By understanding impermanence, we learn to accept change, appreciate the present, and love unconditionally. This is the path to inner peace and true happiness. Start with small things, let go of a grudge, an unnecessary expectation, or even an old item. Little by little, you will feel the freedom in your soul. And in doing so, you are getting closer to enlightenment. Lesson 3, Impermanence encourages us to live fully. Understanding impermanence to appreciate the present. Buddhism teaches that everything in the universe is constantly changing. From a blooming flower to a gentle breeze, and even changes in our minds, all are manifestations of impermanence. Recognizing this, we understand that time never returns, and each moment is unique, never to be repeated. However, people often forget this truth. We spend too much time regretting the past or worrying about the future, forgetting that life truly exists in the present moment. Buddhism refers to this as living in mindfulness, a state of complete awareness and focus on the now. The Buddha's lesson on mindfulness. In a famous story, the Buddha asked his disciples, if a person is shot with an arrow, what should they do? The disciples replied that the person should immediately pull out the arrow and treat the wound. The Buddha responded, that's right. But instead of doing that, people often get caught up in where the arrow came from, who shot it, and why. Meanwhile, they suffer because they do not act quickly. Through this story, the Buddha emphasizes that people often complicate life by not focusing on what is important in the present. Understanding that everything is impermanent allows us to let go of unnecessary thoughts and concentrate on what truly matters. Impermanence and the significance of each moment. When we clearly perceive impermanence, we begin to view every moment with a sense of appreciation. A cup of hot tea, it is not just a beverage, but an opportunity to savor its flavor, feel its warmth in our hands, and experience tranquility in our hearts. A conversation, it is not merely an exchange of words, but a chance to truly listen and connect with the other person. Buddhism teaches that every moment is valuable when we learn to live fully within it. Ask yourself, when was the last time you truly enjoyed a meal? Have you ever paused to feel the sun on your skin? These simple moments are how we truly enjoy life. Reducing anxiety and regret. One of the greatest benefits of living fully in the present is the reduction of anxiety and regret. Worrying about the future. We often become obsessed with what has yet to happen. What will work be like? What will happen in our relationships? But if we understand that the future is not yet here and that we cannot fully control it, we learn to let go. Instead, we should focus on our actions today, as they shape the future. Regretting the past. Many people get trapped in a cycle of regret about what has happened, a mistake, a lost opportunity. Buddhism teaches that the past no longer exists, and dwelling on it only causes us pain. We should view the past as a lesson, not a burden. Living in the present doesn't mean forgetting responsibilities or lessons from the past. It means recognizing that the present is where we truly live. Practicing living fully in the present. 1. Mindfulness in breathing. The breath is a bridge between body and mind. When you feel distracted, stop and focus on your breath. Feel the air entering and leaving your body. This is a simple way to bring your mind back to the present. 2. Observe everything with fresh eyes. Look at everything around you as if you are seeing it for the first time. A flower, a leaf, or even the familiar face of a friend can all hold beauty and meaning when we truly pay attention. 3. Appreciate the small things. Happiness often lies not in grand expectations but in the little things right in front of us, a smile, a hug, or a peaceful afternoon. 4. Reduce unnecessary tasks. We often get caught up in doing too many things at once. Simplify your to-do list and focus on one task at a time. Doing less but with greater depth will bring more value. 5. Daily meditation. Spend at least 10 minutes each day meditating. This not only provides relaxation but also helps reset your mind and bring you back to the present. Enjoying every moment as if it were the last. There is a Buddhist story about a man standing on a cliff, being chased by a tiger. Looking down, he sees a vine to hold on to. But he notices 2 mice gnawing at it. Meanwhile, he spots a ripe strawberry nearby. Instead of succumbing to fear or despair, he picks the strawberry and enjoys it with a smile. This story clearly illustrates living fully in the present. Regardless of circumstances, we can always find a moment to appreciate. Living fully does not mean waiting for everything to be perfect or free of difficulties, rather, it is about cherishing what we have. Understanding that impermanence is an inevitable law teaches us to love, feel, and truly live. Remember, today is a gift, which is why it's called the present. Don't let life pass by in regret or anxiety. Instead, dedicate each moment to love, create, and experience joy. You can start right now. Turn off distracting thoughts and focus entirely on what you are doing. This is how to live fully in the present and experience true happiness. Lesson 4. Impermanence is the flow of life. The river never stands still. Buddhism likens life to a river, always flowing and never stopping. Each drop of water. Each wave symbolizes continuous change, nothing lasts forever. This river is in constant motion, carrying everything from the things we love to our fears. Understanding that life is a flow, we realize that everything, whether good or bad, is temporary. Great joys and deep sorrows will all pass, just as water flows from a stream into the ocean. Learning to accept the movement of the flow. Buddhism teaches that suffering arises from our attempts to hold on to things we cannot keep. When we cling to a state of happiness, we fear losing it. When we despise a difficulty, we fear it will last forever. But the truth is, both will change, and accepting this helps lighten our mental burdens. For example, when facing failure. Instead of reacting negatively, think, "This too shall pass." This awareness not only brings calmness but also provides a more objective perspective on the situation. Conversely, when experiencing joy, cherish each moment instead of fearing its disappearance. Don't worry too much about the future. One of the profound lessons about impermanence is not to worry excessively about the future. Buddhism advises us not to resist the natural flow of life, as change is inevitable. Worrying about what has not yet happened only wastes precious energy that could be spent enjoying the present. For instance, if you are preparing for an important presentation, instead of letting anxiety take over, focus on doing your best. The outcome will be a part of life's flow, and you cannot control everything. Impermanence is the key to letting go. Impermanence is not just a lesson about change, it is an opportunity to let go of mental burdens. Imagine standing by a river, tightly holding a large rock. This rock symbolizes clinging to the past or fearing the future. If you keep holding on to it, you cannot enjoy the refreshing water flowing by. When you let the rock go, you will feel lighter and able to immerse yourself in the flow of the present. Letting go does not mean abandoning everything. It means relinquishing false control and learning to accept life as it is. Joy and sorrow are both temporary. Buddhism teaches that both joy and sorrow are fleeting experiences. This awareness helps us avoid becoming overly enamored with happiness or overly distressed by misfortune. Joy is temporary. When we achieve something good, we often want to hold on to it forever. But the truth is, everything has its time. Instead of trying to prolong happiness, appreciate the moments it brings. Sorrow is temporary. When facing difficulties, we often feel as if they will last forever. However, according to Buddhism, sorrow is like a rainstorm, it will pass, leaving a clear sky behind. The flow of life is a valuable lesson. Each change in life brings us a lesson. A relationship ends, a job fails, or even a joy fades, all are opportunities for learning and growth. Buddhism emphasizes that instead of fighting against the flow, we should learn to navigate it wisely. Every experience, whether good or bad, is part of the journey of life. Practicing acceptance of impermanent flow. Meditate on impermanence. Spend time each day sitting in meditation and reflecting on the changes around you. Feel your breath. Each inhale and exhale is a manifestation of impermanence. Observe small changes. Look at nature, how the leaves change color, how the sun rises and sets each day. These small things remind us that change is natural and necessary. Don't resist emotions. When you feel sad or joyful, let those emotions pass like clouds in the sky. Don't cling to them, nor push them away. Focus on what you can control. Instead of worrying about what is beyond your grasp, concentrate on your actions in the present. The flow of life will find balance if you make the most of each moment. Living lightly in the flow. Impermanence teaches us that life never stands still, and that is what makes it precious. When you understand that everything changes, you learn to love more deeply, live more fully, and let go more easily. Let the flow of life carry you, not as someone being swept away, but as someone who knows how to swim in the river. Each wave and turn is part of the journey, and what matters most is that you enjoy this trip with a peaceful and open heart. Lesson 5: Impermanence leads to enlightenment. Impermanence, the doorway to profound understanding. Impermanence is one of the three fundamental characteristics of existence in Buddhism. Known as the three marks of existence: impermanence, anicca, suffering, dukkha, and non-self, anatta. A clear understanding of impermanence is not merely a lesson about change but a pathway that leads us to enlightenment. Enlightenment here is not a fixed or transcendent state but a deep understanding and liberation from all psychological constraints. Enlightenment is not a fixed destination. In Buddhism, enlightenment is not viewed as a destination that can be reached by holding on to anything. Instead, it is a continuous process of awakening and spiritual evolution. This process is built upon the foundation of understanding the true nature of life, where impermanence plays the role of a great teacher. When we learn to accept that everything changes, from our physical bodies to our emotions and thoughts, we begin to free ourselves from the suffering caused by attachment. Buddhism emphasizes that enlightenment comes from living in harmony with reality, rather than trying to control it according to our desires. Letting go of attachment. Attachment is the root of suffering. We cling to the things we love out of fear of losing them and resist the things we do not want due to fear of their permanence. However, when we understand impermanence, we realize that attachment is a futile effort. Everything in the universe changes: relationships, material wealth, and even our own opinions. Letting go does not mean abandoning everything, it means relinquishing the attitude of ownership and control over them. Imagine a person holding a leaf in their palm. If they grip the leaf too tightly, it will crumble and lose its beauty. But if they open their hand and hold the leaf gently, they can still appreciate its beauty without damaging it. Accepting things as they are. Buddhism teaches that enlightenment is not about changing the world but about changing how we perceive it. When we accept everything as it is, we stop fighting against reality and find inner peace. For example, when a loved one passes away, pain is inevitable. But when we understand that their life is also part of the flow of impermanence, we can let go of resentment and find comfort in the beautiful memories they left behind. Impermanence as a lesson in compassion. Understanding impermanence not only helps us let go, but also fosters compassion and empathy. When we recognize that everyone faces change and loss in life, we are more able to empathize with others' pain. Buddhism encourages us to practice compassion by seeing others not through their mistakes or achievements, but through our shared humanity. All of us must confront impermanence. This compassion not only alleviates the suffering of others but also frees us from isolation and resentment. Living in harmony with the universe. When we accept impermanence, we begin to live in harmony with the nature of the universe. This does not mean abandoning all ambitions or goals, rather, it means living consciously without clinging to outcomes. A person who lives in harmony with impermanence knows how to balance effort and letting go. They give their all in each action but do not allow their minds to be bound by success or failure. This harmony brings true freedom, freedom from anxiety, fear, and suffering. The path to enlightenment. To truly attain enlightenment through understanding and accepting impermanence, Buddhism suggests the following practices. 1. Meditate on impermanence. Spend time each day meditating on the changes in your body and mind. Feel each breath in and out, recognizing that each breath is a manifestation of impermanence. 2. Observe the world around you. Pay attention to the changes in nature, such as the blooming and wilting of flowers or the changing seasons. This helps you understand that change is a natural part of life. 3. Gradually let go. Start by letting go of small things, like frustration over losing a favorite item. Gradually, you will learn to release larger things without feeling overwhelmed. 4. Practice loving kindness. Empathize with others and recognize that they are also facing impermanence. This helps nurture compassion and a deep connection with others. 5. Live in the present. Instead of worrying about the future or regretting the past, focus on what is happening right now. The present is your opportunity to live fully and mindfully. The results of enlightenment. When we truly understand and live with impermanence, we experience enlightenment as a state of peace and freedom. This enlightenment is not a miraculous event that occurs instantly, it is the result of continuous and conscious practice. Enlightenment allows us to live without fear of change, without suffering from loss, and without being bound by expectations. It is a state of peace, freedom, and harmony, not with ideals, but with reality itself. Let impermanence guide you. Impermanence is not only a lesson about change but also a doorway to enlightenment. When we understand and accept impermanence, we not only free ourselves from suffering but also come closer to the true nature of life. Let impermanence be your teacher, guiding you on the path to enlightenment and inner peace. And remember, enlightenment is not at the end of the journey, it is in every step you take along the way. Conclusion: Impermanence, a journey to peace. Impermanence is not just a profound philosophy, it serves as a close and practical reminder in our daily lives. No matter who you are or what stage of life you are in, recognizing and accepting that everything changes can bring liberation from anxiety, fear, and pressure. We often get caught up in a whirlpool of unrealistic expectations, expecting happiness to last forever, believing that sorrow will never arrive, or thinking that everything will always go our way. But the truth is, life is like a river that flows continuously, never stopping. Impermanence teaches us that instead of resisting that flow, we should learn to surrender to it. Impermanence, the key to living more lightly. When we understand that nothing is permanent, we become less anxious and less attached. Try to observe the small things in life. A flower that blooms and then wilts, clouds in the sky that constantly change shape, or your own emotions. One moment you may be sad, but just a moment later, a laugh can lift that sadness away. Understanding impermanence does not mean we become indifferent or unfeeling. On the contrary, it helps us cherish each moment. You will learn to enjoy happy moments without worrying about their end. And you will also be strong enough to overcome difficulties, knowing that they too will pass. Share your journey. We would love to hear from you. How has understanding impermanence changed your perspective on life? What significant changes have you experienced, and how have you navigated through them? Please share your story in the comments. Your experiences not only inspire but also connect with others who are on their journey toward peace and enlightenment. If you found the insights shared in this video helpful, please hit the like button to show your support and share the video with friends and family. Each like and share helps spread the message of peace, love, and freedom to more people. Don't forget to subscribe to the Life Lessons channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss any future videos. We will continue to bring you profound lessons from Buddhist philosophy and fresh perspectives to help you live a more meaningful and happier life. Thank you and see you again. Thank you for spending your time with us on this journey. Every time you watch a video, leave a comment, or simply listen to what is shared, you contribute to creating a positive and meaningful community. We look forward to seeing you in the next videos, where we will explore more valuable lessons to live in harmony with ourselves, with others, and with the nature of the universe. Wishing you peace and completeness in every moment.